Welcome back, everybody. This is day 6 of Holiday Dog Wisdom Almanac. And today's topic is when dogs are home alone. And during this very, very busy season of the year, there will be plenty of times when you have a long day busy with errands and the dog needs to be left home alone. And one of the things you want to avoid is a situation like this one. So before you leave your dog home alone, there are some things that you need to consider. These little guys are obviously quite young and much too young to be left alone unsupervised with things that are much, much too interesting to be left alone. So the decision about what to do before you leave your dog home alone is an important one, and it depends on a lot of different factors. For example, your dog's age. A young puppy um, can't be left alone with the complete run of the house. There have to be some kinds of restrictions for his safety. The size of your dog. Small dogs obviously have smaller bladders, so they can't wait as long as a bigger dog. Your dog's energy level. If your dog is very high energy, you want to think about the preparation before you leave him home alone. You may want to put in some extra boundaries or extra confinement, or leave him with something interesting to entertain him and occupy his time. You also want to think about the dog's history. Has he been just fine with being left home alone, or does he get upset or stressed? And if he does, then you might want to consider some different plans before you leave him home alone. And finally, training. It's my opinion, and I share that with a lot of trainers, that every dog needs to be trained to stay in a crate. How often you use a crate, how long the dog stays in a crate will vary depending on circumstances, but all dogs should learn to be in a crate. There are lots of reasons for that, but it's outside of the scope of today's video. So let's think about what we need to do before we leave the house. You need to think about boundaries and whether or not the dog is going to be in a crate. If dogs are crate trained, most of the time they're going to be very content to be left in a crate. This gives you a little extra peace of mind because you're not going to be concerned about what the dog is going to get into while you're gone. And the dog is safer and is more comfortable and more relaxed. During the holiday season, there are plenty of new and interesting things to spark a dog's curiosity. So being in a crate might be a good idea. Leaving a dog home alone for a little while you go out and do errands should be something that is a part of every dog's normal daily routine. We can't be home 24/7 to spend time with our dogs. We're going to be out and about, and we cannot always bring the dogs with us. So staying home alone should be something normal for the dog. Your departures should be no guilt and no drama. The reason dogs get upset about being left home alone is that their owners are upset before they leave the house. And that emotion is transferred to the dog, and you go out and about your daily business, and the dog is left feeling upset and stressed and will manifest that with behaviors that could be destructive or could be getting into other problems. So let's think about what you need to do before you go. You want to make sure that the dog is safe. It might be in a crate, it might be in a separate gated off area of the house. I never advise people to put a dog in a room with the door closed, but in some cases, that might be just fine for some dogs. They might be totally comfortable with that environment. But if it's going to stress the dog out, then it's not really a good idea. Make sure that the dog is comfortable. The temperature is not too cold and not too warm. The dog has a soft, comfortable place to rest, and he has plenty of access to water to drink, or maybe a food puzzle or a toy to chew on. And that leads me to the next thing. His environment should be interesting. If he likes to chew on something, give him a safe chew toy like an antler, maybe a food puzzle like a stuffed Kong. Turn on some soft music. YouTube has loads of very long, hours long videos playing music that is soothing and comforting to dogs. So that's something to consider when you're gone, to leave one of those videos running. Prepare. We all have little routines that we go through before we leave the house. So don't do all of those things at the last minute, which is going to trigger the dog to be upset about the fact that you're leaving. Spread those things out. Gather your keys, your purse, your coat, and so forth. Spread those activities out over a few minutes rather than doing everything all at once. Dogs read our body language, and they are going to know, no matter how much you try to conceal it, the dog is going to know you're getting ready to leave. So don't make it a big fussy thing over the dog. Don't fuss over the dog and um, get him worked up emotionally before you leave. Be boring. Make the departure totally a non-event, no drama, and you should be just fine with it. One final note, none of this is really applicable to a dog that is suffering from separation anxiety, true separation anxiety. That's a situation that's an emotional and medical condition that requires very special treatment. If you suspect that that's going on with your dog, then you need to consult a professional. And if you want a referral, or you want some specific advice about that, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to listen to what's going on and give you some advice about where to go next to help with that. So that's it for now. Leaving your dogs home alone. Make it no drama, no guilt, be boring. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about preparing for emergencies. See you then. Bye for now.